Getting nice and purpley. That rainbow effect. Welcome back to Trucks and Junk. If you guys didn't watch last week's video, you might want to go back and watch it because I explained why we're going to go to start doing short videos for a little while, but I'm not going to keep explaining that every time we're back. So what we're going to be doing this week is we're going to be doing part 2 of the street legalized go-kart, and we're going to be installing the exhaust system. And in the true Trucks and Junk fashion, what I'm going to be using to do this today is a junkyard muffler and a junkyard luggage rack off of a wrecked four-wheeler. So the main reason I'm using this because it comes pre-bent in a bunch of bins and smaller pipe and bigger pipe, and normally if you cut something like that up you can make it work. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to start fabbing up some of these spots and I'm going to show you what my plans are in my head here in about 2 seconds. So enjoy. Okay, so what my plans are is this is a muffler off of a scooter, and I've already cut a corner out of that luggage rack and one of the straight bars, and that actually fits inside this pipe and this fits inside that pipe, so it'll make my welds a lot stronger because then you'll have a center pipe inside that it can't leak through. But what my plans are is I'm gonna sit this or mount this right about in here, and then when I weld the elbow bracket to the flange that goes on the motor, we'll have that, and then I'm going to cut this shorter to where it'll be like coming around the back side of the intake here, and then go down and come around and swoop into this. That way it's a good spot for it, and this should make it a whole lot quieter so it can pass that test. So now we're going to start getting some of these pieces welded together.
Okay guys, now that we've got all the pieces cut and mocked up the way that we want it, we're going to spot weld it all and take it off and finish all the welds.
So as you guys can see, it's about the way we want it to be. So now we're going to spot weld it, do what he said. So now the main reason we spot weld this in place is that way we know it's the way we want it when we take it out and do the final welds. So I always like to try to put at least 2 spot welds in each joint, that way it won't move when I take it off. I always start from the muffler side and work my way back to the flange, but I do full weld at the flange most of the time, that way this pipe don't move because that's the one I start off of. So I start from the flange to the muffler and then weld from the muffler back to the flange. And with these small exhaust pipes, guys, you don't want to get the pipe too hot either because it will blow through. So you just want to do small little quick bursts, little spot welds all the way around the pipe basically, because if you do a solid bead on these, it will burn right through and it'll be a real big mess. This is the time to do your adjustments, guys, because you don't want it to be, when you put it together, you'll have to adjust it, you know. So now's the time to do them if you're going to do any adjustments. Be careful around gas tanks too. think I'm happy with that. Now I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna set it on the bench, and I'm gonna finish welding it up on there. Alright, now like I said guys, I'm gonna start from the muffler and work my way towards the flange. And like I said, you just want to do little spots all the way around the pipe. Because if you go too much too quick, it'll burn right through this stuff. So we're just gonna do little spots all the way around. I think my helmet's falling apart. Bring you guys in and show you. So basically, like I said, I just did little spots all the way around. I still got to do it, but just little spots all the way around on top of each other, just one little spurt at a time. Sorry. Yeah. Be careful. That way it can just stay together. Still got 2 little spots left to do, and then we're gonna go ahead and move to these other joints. Sorry for all the movement, guys. I know it's a lot. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and move to these other joints. Let this cool down just a little bit. Okay, so now when it comes to exhaust, I like to grind my welds. And the only reason I do that on exhaust is because when you grind them down, you can tell if there's any pinholes in them. Because I'm not a certified welder. I'm just an amateur welder. You know, I never claimed to be certified. So I like to grind them down on exhaust just to make sure there's no pinholes to where they don't leak. So now I'm going to grind these welds down and see if I have any pinholes. So now I'll show you what I'm talking about. And the reason I do that is for this reason right here. So see, there's a pinhole right there. And where that pinhole is, there would be an exhaust leak if I didn't grind this down. So now that I've ground this down, I know it's there, and I can now fill in that pinhole and then grind it down again. So I'm gonna go ahead and grind the rest of these down, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, unfortunately we're having mic issues again, so I'm just going micless. I'm not going to keep buying all these mics to just keep tearing up a week later. I'm not buying no more mics, so we're just going to stay with just the phone mic, sorry. But anyway, so what I've done is I've took care of all these spots. I've ground this whole pipe down because you don't want the paint on here, because the paint that's on a regular luggage rack is not fireproof, so, or heat resistant, so you don't want this catching on fire inside your cart. So I went ahead and ground all the paint off the pipe. They do make heat resistant paint if you want to repaint it black, but it's just going to rust anyway, guys, so I'm just being honest with you. So I'm going to go ahead and get this installed on the cart and see what we got. Alright, so now that I've got this installed on the motor, we're going to fire it up and see what it sounds like. Go ahead and fire it up there, Oscar. Go ahead and pull that cable for us. Let's see if this is any quieter. Oh, yeah, it's a lot quieter. Yep, still a lot quieter. Oh, yeah. That's a whole lot quieter. Yeah, it don't sound like a lawnmower no more.
I mean, it's still an annoying sound because of the engine itself.
You get all that noise that the actual engine itself makes, not the exhaust. Like the rattling of the torque converter and all that stuff. But, yeah. I guess all that's left is for me to come up with a bracket for the pipe itself. And then where you don't move around so much, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so what I've done for an exhaust clamp is I have this clamp came off of another scooter. It had a bigger exhaust, and basically I just wrapped it around the muffler and wrapped it around the frame, put a bolt in it, and that holds everything nice and tight. So now we're going to air these tires up, take this thing for a ride, and see if we can still hear them down at the bottom of the neighborhood like we used to. Which, yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, now we're going to see if it still made as much noise as it did before when we did the first video. We're going to see how far he goes before we lose sound, and then coming back up. Go ahead, bub, drive on down there. Let's see how far you get. That's a whole lot quieter. Yeah, I can barely even hear him now. That's a whole lot better. I don't even really hear him no more. Whole lot better. All right. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, like and subscribe. It'd really help us out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later. God bless you all.
And remember, Jesus loves you. See you guys next time.